Hey, it's Peter Gregg, Miami, Florida. I am sitting here and it is July 4th Eve, like Christmas Eve, like New Year's Eve. This is July 4th Eve. And I am live and I got on the phone with me, my buddy, my pal, my good old little brother, my son, my grandson, all of that rolled up into one. Say hi, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
There he goes. See, he can speak. You guys thought that Kyle couldn't speak. All right, you want to stay on the live show with me, or do you want to hang up and just watch? That's up to you. Which one do you want to do?
I'll just watch.
Okay.
I'm not going much to the show.
Make sure you do say hello, all right? All right, love you, Tiger. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
There we go. I just completed a phone call to Kyle, and he should be coming in just to say hello. And I don't even have my phones with me, so let's turn this phone off. All right. Well, what are you doing tomorrow? I'd like to know. What exactly are you going to do tomorrow? Are you going to stay in bed all day? Are you going to party with your friends? Are you going to go drive around in a Tesla with your best buddy, Joey? Hi, Sammy. I see you. How you doing, Sam? Good to see you. Somebody came on my show last night and said their name was Sam, and I thought, oh, maybe it's Sammy, and he has another account. But they said they were going to the Keys, and I know you weren't going to the Keys. So how are you doing? How's everything going? So Sam is saying, hi, Peter. Have you been to B&H lately? I want to go with you, Sam. Pick me up before you go, okay? And there's room enough in the train for both of us. I lost a lot of weight. I'll fit. And here's Kyle. You heard Kyle. You heard him on the phone with me. We were just talking on the phone. He is going to buy something, but I'm not quite sure what. But he's going to use my Newegg link, or my B&H link, or my ADORAMA link, which, by the way, if I haven't told you guys, in the prescription underneath the video is links to all kinds of places. So when you go there using one of my links, even if you don't have to buy anything at all, nothing, nada, zip, you use the link and go looking around. And they record that, oh, Peter Gregg sent us a customer. And that means a lot. It means a lot to ADORAMA, B&H, Newegg. Who else do I have listed there? ADORAMA, B&H, Newegg. There's another one. I think I got one way at the bottom in the description to Walmart. So you can click on the Walmart one. Now on that one, if you have a car, you want to buy Joey a present, Sammy? It'd be $9. Click on my Walmart link at the bottom of the description, and you'll find an amazing car wax. And the way it works is you wash your car, you rinse it off so there's no soap. Now the car is wet. What are you going to do? You're going to go, oh, I'm going to bed. I'm going to McDonald's. I'm going to Chick-fil-A. No, wait. Now you take this $9 spray and you spray the car with it. No rags, no wiping, no touch. Just spray the car in you get a nice pattern. Dun, da, 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 dun. Okay, and then after you spray the whole car down, then get the hose again, and then rinse all that spray off. And then don't touch it. Just let it air dry. And the car is so slick, if you sat your ASS on the hood, you'd slide off like you were in a sliding pond. All that for $9. I've already used a whole bottle for my car, and I need to get another one because I think you need to do it every month or two. I'm not sure how long. It's a turtle wax, so it is a good name, you know. But I was shocked because in order to get my car slick, where you put your fingers over it and it glides, you got to do a lot of work. And this stuff just works awesome. So Sammy says, I don't think I'm not able to, Joey. Joey got sick, and then he got him sick. Ah, wait, you guys are sitting too close in that car. I told you, no touching. Did you get COVID or the flu, or did you sneeze? Did you catch a cold? Yes. He says yes, but that wasn't answering my question. Any size person can fit on the train. I know that. Can't you tell you know me so long, Sam. What is your problem? We talk on the phone and you laugh the whole way through. You really do. So you know I do a lot of teasing. So I'm using the Christmas room mic tonight instead of the sleek black mic. I want to ride in the Tesla, Sam. Can you make arrangements for that? You can. He would love it. Talking about the wax. Yes, it's the easiest wax I have ever used. And it's at the bottom of the description. So I have this long description because I got a lot of links in there. Okay, and then you go to the bottom and I go like, if you've read this far, wow, that's incredible. Here's a reward. And you click on that link, it'll take you to Walmart. And the link is, my hair looks terrible. The link is in the description. You go to Walmart and that is the wax. So if you click on it and it's not wax, you need to tell me so I can correct it. Okay. And it should be under $9, $8.99, $8.75, $8.95, something like that. Okay. There you go. So Sammy clicked on it. That means I get credit for sending a human being to the Walmart site. Yay! Now, everybody needs to do that during the week. Just go to one of my videos and click on my links. Go shopping. Don't buy anything or buy to your heart's content. And by golly, if you are going to buy something, then without question, you do need to click on my links. So I get that 25 cents commission. So Kyle is in here, Subcultured Outcast. Hi, Kyle. Love you, buddy. Hope everything is doing okay. Where are you? He's in Missouri. No. He's in Kansas. No. He's in Florida. No. He's in Oklahoma. Kyle is in Oklahoma. Who thought that Kyle was in Oklahoma? Kyle also has 2 channels, not 1, but 2. Sammy has at least 1 channel, if not more than 1. Okay, and Jeff is in the room here. Good afternoon, Peter. Today is your Independence Day in the USA. It's Independence Day. Come fly, fly, fly with me. Oh, do I have the reverb turned off? Yes, I do. I did it right. Who would have known that I had done it right? I do things right every once in a while. So, what's new in Aussie Town? What is new in Aussie Town? I'm moving the camera. Yes, so don't get all weirded out. It's just a little bit too low. So, that's Jeff saying good afternoon. And Scotty is here. I slipped one past Scotty yesterday, and I was on 2.5 hours. Scott, what were you doing? Taking a nap? That's unusual. Highly unusual. Da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. So there's an icon ZFC. She's over there. Kyle and I just... okay, so the camera needs to be lowered just a bit. Let's see if I could do this properly, okay? I'm going to walk, just so you guys know. I'm going to walk to the camera. I'm going to grab the handle. I'm going to go bump, okay? But I have to go just a little bit. See, I only want to fill in that extra space. Now... who wants to place bets if I do it right or if I do it wrong? Let's do it quickly before I run out of time. Okay, I'm walking over. I'm shouting. Okay, I'm a-shouting. Okay, let's go. Bring it down. Whoop, too much. I think that's too much. Okay, I think that's about the right place. So what I'll do is I'll come over here next time I go over there. No! What did I do? Oh my God, I missed the whole frickin' thing. All right, I said if I go over there again, I'm going to take you with me. So now I need to raise the camera. I need to make sure I have the cable because it's kind of rude for me just to leave you there, okay? So now I have the mic. And now Come on, baby. I know. Okay, now I can see the blue lights. So I need to raise the camera up just a little bit. And it needs to be right at the level of... Can you see the blue lights on the back wall? Oh, that's too low. I need to make it... So the camera is front heavy. That's what's wrong. All right, so now let's go and sit and see what I've done. Oh, much better, but still, I got a haircut, an unintentional haircut. All right, so what I need to do is the blue lights need to be right across the top of the screen. So I'll raise it up, tighten it down. Nope. Okay, now I see the blue lights, but you can't because it is zoomed in. All right. So now I'm coming over. That's my belly. You see how much weight I've lost? If I pull the shirt, look how much I could pull on that shirt. That's how much weight I lost from there to there. So it does a body good not to eat those M&Ms. All right, so now we're doing better. You didn't think I could do it, did you? You have no faith in me. You didn't think I could do that. You didn't think I could pull that off. Well, I did. All right, so now my guess is I'm going to have to readjust some of these cameras that I just moved. So, Scotty, I started to say hi. What? Monday night? Strawberry shortcake in Peter's Kitchen. Don't forget the whipped cream. Bon appetit. Yeah, you got to make, when you say I'm going to make something, you got to make sure that I'm making something low sugar. Don't be giving me potato salad. I haven't eaten potatoes in years. Well, I actually had some potatoes about 3 weeks ago, but it was only like 2 or 3 of the potato wedges. I couldn't help myself, but we were out. So I didn't have to be, I didn't want to be rude. So I took a couple of potato wedges. Yes, really, I wasn't being rude or anything. I was just trying to be social, be polite. So that's why I just had to eat a few of the potato wedges. But you can't have me making non-keto stuff. None of that's in the kitchen. My kitchen is very low sugar. So I have baby back ribs. I've got juicy hamburgers. You know what I made tonight, Scott? Something that you would probably never eat in a million years because it's so fat. You take a stick of butter, a regular stick, you know how they are individually wrapped, not the double ones, but just a single stick of butter, salted. And I put it in a double boiler, but you don't have to. I do it because I burn it. I walk away and the fire will burn the butter, and then I don't want that. So I'll put it in a double boiler, and I'll put a stick of butter in there, and then I'll get a block of cream cheese. Now, when I say a block of cream cheese, it's kind of like double the thickness of butter. The Philadelphia cream cheese. They come 2 to a pack sometimes, or just the singles, but not the tubs, not the whipped. Okay? And then I melt that until it's all pretty much liquidy, and then I take a whisk. And you have to whisk it about a minute. No cheating. Not 30 seconds, not 40 seconds. And it will actually turn into like a mayonnaise. And then I add, see, I'm wearing my shorts. That's my sexy knee right there. So I add garlic salt. I add onion salt. And then you've got yourself like a sauce for anything. Now you start to doctor it up. So tonight we had, we had steak. So I put this sauce straight on my steak. The sauce was better than the steak. It was amazing. And there's no sugar because cream cheese, if you look how many carbs, it's got like 1 carb. Okay. The butter has 0 carbs. Onion salt and garlic salt. So it's my special whipped steak sauce. It's a whipped steak sauce. That is becoming one of my specialties. So what have I actually added to it? I have sautéed mushrooms, and I've added mushrooms to it. I have sautéed onions and put the mushrooms and the onions right into the cream cheese and butter, the whipped steak sauce. So we need to give it a name. Peter's, what's white in the crisp snow? Peter's Snowy Steak Sauce. Thank you, Scotty. Peter's Snowy Steak Sauce. With mushrooms and onions. Peter's Snowy Steak Sauce with onions and mushrooms. Oh my God! I'm gonna have to make something just so I can put the sauce on there. Now I don't have any mushrooms because when I get them, I don't know how long they last. So I just cook them all. I brown them, make them a little toasty, and then I just dump it right into my snowy steak sauce. Peter's Snowy Steak Sauce. Peter Gregg's Snowy Steak Sauce. There we go. Okay, so where was I? You got me all excited, Scott. So Sam, he has an earache. He's got to stop walking around with his finger in his ear. Tell Joey Peter said that he has to stop walking around sticking his finger in his ear. Then he won't have an earache. Okay, so what he can do, all right, since I'm up on all this alternative medication because I don't like going to the doctor, is he can get a Q-tip and dunk it in some clean hydrogen peroxide and pull it out so that it's dripping. And then get it down in. It'll feel cold, okay? And let the peroxide run down into his ear because that will kill any infection that's going on in the ear. So now what's wrong with you? You have an earache too? A sore throat? And if he's going to do that in one ear, do it in the other one too. So have you ever gone swimming and it feels like you got water down there and you got to jump around? Okay, so you want to get that drop, that 1 or 2 drops of hydrogen peroxide that's in the brown bottle, okay, and this is the one that you get over the counter. This is not any strong crap, all right? Just the regular brown bottle of like alcohol, except hydrogen peroxide. And you just do that once, and then you could do that again the next day, and it will start to kill whatever the infection. And you'll feel it, he will feel it, Joey will feel it running down into his ear. Now, because he's probably going to miss the hole a couple of times. Boys your age, you're always missing the hole. What can I tell you? Okay. You'll feel it run down your chin and stuff like that. Just take a tissue and wipe it. It won't hurt you. So, now you don't put that in your mouth, okay? You can put hydrogen peroxide. You can actually gargle with hydrogen peroxide, but you get warm water and you just put about 8 or 9 drops of hydrogen peroxide in the warm water. Okay, then stir it around. You can use your finger. I don't care, as long as your finger's clean. If you stuck your finger anywhere where it don't belong, don't put it in your water. And then gargle with it. But you can also gargle with warm water and salt. And, of course, you got the good old Listerine and Scope. So what that does is after you gargle, you'll swallow a little bit and it'll go down and kill some of the germs. So it's not to gargle a lot, it's to gargle often, okay? So Joey has an earache. Peter, I stand corrected. You were right on the 1D is 4 megapixels. My apologies. You said 4 frames per second, but you mean megapixels. I didn't think it was that low. I thought it was 8. So it's it started at 4. Wow. So maybe when I got the 1D Mark II, that might have been 6 or 8 megapixels. And then they came out with the 1D Mark II N. N for nerdy or nice. Naughty or nice. Thank you, Jeff. You helped me come up with a Christmas term in the Christmas room. So naughty or nice. So, yeah, and they worked themselves up, and I was shooting weddings. I know I was shooting weddings at 8 megapixels, okay? Because when I got up over into the 18s, at some point, Canon went to 18 megapixels. Ooh, this is like dessert, and that is like fun stuff. Yeah, so you threw me for a loop, but that's okay. There's so many cameras. How the heck do you remember them all? So, Sammy, just click it. Click it or ticket. Where is that? That's in Florida. There's a law that says you have to wear your seatbelt. So you drive down I-95 or something like that, and it says click it or ticket. So I just got to click on, I'm assuming, Walmart or Adorama or B&H. You know, everybody that's in here needs to go and click on one of my links in the description below and just look around, just mosey, window shopping. That's it. Just do window shopping. And that helps good old Peter. That's what it does. It helps good old Peter. And that's what you want to do. I'm moving the camera up just a little bit. Okay. So, and then, of course, if you're going to buy a camera or you're going to buy a lens, click on my link because I do get a commission. It's not a big commission, but hey, if I get 30, 40, 50 bucks at the end of the month from B&H, that's going to go towards our new lens budget, which, you know, we have a new lens budget going on. You click on the donation, put in $5, $10, $1,000, $100,000. Just click on the, what is it called? PayPal. And you can put in $5 and that'll go towards buying the lens that we want to get for this camera. Why does my hair keep popping up? But you don't have to, okay? I just have to say it because some people do want to bless and they need to know how. And so I have to say. All right. So Sammy clicked it. Jeff said, sorry, Peter, tomorrow, your Independence Day, as it's the 4th of July already down under. Yeah, I think we figured it out, right, Jeff? It's 14 hours. So what time is it? It's 10:33. So it would be 10:33 a.m. plus 2. So it would be 12:33 there or something close to that within a minute or two. Or is it more than 14 hours? So at least I got to know you, Roy, and you guys down there in Aussie Town. And what time it is there. Jeff, the 1DX was 18. I knew there was an 18 megapixel because I was so excited. And I think I did buy the 1DX. I bought the 1DX and I bought the 1DX Mark III. And wouldn't you know it, the 1DX Mark III had a focusing problem. Hello. And that's how I added Nikon to my bag. So people ask me, Peter, how did you go from Canon to Nikon? Well, first, I never left Canon. All right. But I did buy a Canon 1DX Mark III. And it had a focusing problem. And about 9 to 10 months after I bought it, Canoga Camera, that was my camera store, so I was able to get cameras right out the door. You know, there's a list with 300 names. I'd call up and go, hey, so-and-so, I want one of those cameras. You got it, Peter. My name goes to the top of the list. Now, that's not very nice, okay? I understand that. But I do have a YouTube channel, so it was very important for me to have a source to get cameras. So eventually the man got quite elderly and he closed the shop down. So I lost my connection. So I did make a few other connections, but none of them as good as where it would just take one phone call and I'd have the camera. Here's Aintu. Ayantu. Ayantu. Hello to you. Ayantu. Hello. 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 I love you, Ayantu. I see you, Ayantu. You are on my screen. I see you, you. I see you and thank you for coming here today. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for keeping me company. I couldn't get the last part to rhyme. I got to get wound up, cranked up a little bit. It's Carlos. I'm doing a Carlos. It's J4 Eve. So it's July 4th Eve. I said, what better way to spend it than slouch down? Why am I slouching? In a chair, hoping Carlos would come in and tell me about his lamp. So he fixed his crooked lamp. So he got a lamp there, and I couldn't get my eyes off of it because it's kind of like this tree. So I thought that the tree was crooked. I'm sorry, I thought that the camera was crooked, but it's not. Look, it goes straight up. And as it turns around, it goes over. So my mother was into ceramics, and she made this tree, but she never made the base for this tree. She made the base for the first tree. So I got the tree. Now watch, it's going to lean. And so one day it stopped right there, and I'm looking and I'm going like, dang, my tree is leaning. And I hate it when my tree leans, you know. I like it to stand upright, straight, up to the sky. Now watch, it's going to get straight. See? And I started to fix the camera while it was bloop. And that's not a smart thing to do. No, not smart. Not smart. So Carlos is here. Did you have anyone come in today, or you? Is the office operational yet? It's got to be. It looked gorgeous. So I guess people are away. So you might have had an emergency call or something. I just have to talk to you, Carlos. I just have to talk to you. I'm at my wit's end. I feel like I'm going to eat 2 bowls of ice cream. So I need to come see you before I become fat as a pig. And Carlos says, you're a little bit overweight already, Charlie. You know, maybe you can cut back on that ice cream. I just picked a name out of thin air. I don't know if he's got a Charlie or not, okay? Charlie is one of my favorite. It's a term of endearment for me when I call somebody Charlie, okay? Because remember something in the outfield or something? The boy's name was Charlie. And him and his little brother needed to be adopted because they didn't have a father and so on and so forth. And I saw that 100 years ago. So anyone that I become endeared to, I start calling them Charlie. So it wasn't, you know, anything. If you do have a Charlie, tell Charlie sincere apologies. But if Carlos is not helping him, give him my number, and I'll be glad to lay him on my couch, and I'll fix it. In 30 minutes is all it'll take. I'll fix his butt right away. Carlos is laughing. Yeah, right. And how many years of school have you had, Peter? Psst, Peter, snowy steak sauce. Whisper that in her ear. Peter's snowy steak sauce. Peter's snowy steak sauce. Hey, sweetheart. Peter's snowy steak sauce. That does sound a little bit, Peter's snowy steak sauce. You got to make it, guys. It really is that good. I'm not kidding you. All right? It's really, really, really good. So Sammy's going, wow. You don't even know what 8 megapixels is, Sammy. You have an 8 megapixel camera? You might have an 8 megapixel phone. No, the phones are really high these days. Yep, was shooting 8 megapixels. Sammy says, now how many megapixels does the E10 have? No, I'm not going to let you get away with that. You have an E10 also. I know you do's, but I believe it's 12. So, but it is a what do you call it? Video-centric camera. So in order for it to do what it needs to do, okay, they don't put a lot. I'm moving there. You haven't been drinking. I just wanted to move that up. So Christmas Eve show. No, it's not Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve show. No, it's not New Year's Eve show. Valentine's Eve show. Welcome. Nope, not Valentine's Eve show. July 4th Eve show. By golly, we got it. This is the July 4th Eve show. So Jeff said, what does Jeff say? No, Sammy said something first. No, Jeff said something first. I'll get it straight. I didn't take my medication. Where is it? Boing. Oh, I feel so smart now. I can tell you that my pie tonight, I can even tell you how big it was. It was 3.14 inches. Yes, it was. Not doing a lot. Not a lot of stuff going on down under. I am listening to you as I'm working on my laptop, sorting out the photos and videos. He's culling. I let go over the past year. He's not really culling. Okay. I lost 250 gigabytes of hard drive space. Okay, so I have a question to ask you, and it might be irrelevant. I have to stop putting my hands up here. Okay, it might be irrelevant, but it might be relevant. So my hard drive space, I shoot RAW. Okay, so my hard drive space was filling up because I was doing a wedding and sometimes 2 weddings in a weekend, and sometimes I go 2 weeks and have nothing. Anyway, long story short, I changed out my RAW files to DNG files. I did a lot of research online, and then I said, screw it. I'm going to do my research right here. So I got a RAW file, and I changed it to DNG, which is like 1/3 the size, so it's 2/3 smaller. And I wanted to know, am I not doing a good idea by doing that? Because with the RAW file, you go back to the original file. So you could put both files in Photoshop. And in Photoshop, there's, when you click on that thing and you got like 1,000 choices, one of the choices is difference. And the screen will turn white, and only the difference will actually light up. So when you click that, you think you did something wrong, but you didn't. All that Photoshop is going to show you is the difference. And there was almost absolutely zero difference. In other words, the screen stayed completely white. There would be a black spot here, black speck here, there, a few black specks. It was a nothing burger. It made no difference. So I actually made my hard drive almost less than 50% of the size by changing all my RAW files to DNG files. So it's an all-night thing. So you put it on, go to bed, and let the computer do that. So my original RAW files are now DNG files, but a DNG file is the same thing as a RAW file. You can change the color temperature. You've got all the dynamic range that you need. No problem. So I would say at least 60 to 80% of my old weddings have been converted to DNG. Now, what's even worse than that, I haven't touched the wedding in 15 years. Well, that's not true. A bride just lost her wedding, and she wanted me to put all the files on there. I charged $175. I don't work for free. I could just come in here and talk to you and not get paid. Okay? So why am I going to do that? But it was declared up front if they need a replacement. And then I did say that there's no replacements after 10 years. So this was like 18 years ago. So she was like begging. And I went through my old hard drives and I found it. I found the old wedding. And all I had to do was copy it. I had to buy a 128 gigabyte USB stick because it was like 108. So to be nice, I bought 2 of them because how much is a USB stick? 12, 15 bucks. So I bought 2 of them and I gave her a double copy and I said, if this hard drive drops or crashes, that's it. You better put one in the safe and one in your house. Well, she was very thankful. So Jeff is not doing anything. I saw one of your videos and it was a 1D Mark III. That's the one. And it was pretty interesting. So that got changed to a D3 9 months after I bought it. Do you think that B&H would change a camera 9 months after I buy it? So if I can have this S5 Mark II for 9 months and then call them up and say, I'd like to change this camera. I want the S5 Mark III. And I want all the money back too. No. After 30 days, they don't care if you're the governor of Massachusetts, even though they're in New York. So 10 months after, the owner of Newegg Camera called me and he says, Peter, I know you've been suffering. He says, I got 2 Nikon D3s are here. Ship me back the 1D Mark III. And you've got the Nikon D3. I didn't even have time to go to the bathroom. I packed up that camera and shipped it out to him overnight, and I got a brand spanking new Nikon D3. And then guess what? I had no Nikon lenses, so I called him. I said, I need to buy a lens. Hello. He started laughing. Well, let's start with a couple of primes. So I want the 50, I want the 85, and I want either a 24 or a 35. Okay? So I bought the 3 primes. The camera worked great. I immediately added The lens that you will see when we get to the ZFC is the lens that I bought with the original D3. That's the 2470 2.8 Pro lens for the Nikon, whatever that mount was at that point. Okay. And that lens is now in use. And I haven't used that lens in like hundreds of years. But now it's actually back in service. So, Jeff is thanking Scotty, and Scotty is, I wondered why Canuga closed. Bought a few Canon lenses from them. Very nice people. The guy's name there was, I think, Glenn. And he was the manager, but he was a boy, not a boy. He was like 22. How did he become the manager of Canuga Camera? And he loved talking to me. I mean, he would have to be told to get off the phone. That's how long I would talk. I had him wrapped around my little finger. Anything I needed, he would just. And he had he had a Volkswagen fetish. So he had a couple of bugs, and then he bought the minivan, whatever you call it. We called it the fun box because we had it when maybe I was 12, 13 years old. And my dad would say, okay, get in the fun box. And we would go to the Keys. We'd go fishing or something like that. So Canuga closed because of age. Glenn outgrew his britches there, and he spanned out, and he became a special person that does something with the Volkswagens. He left photography completely. So Sammy says, how do you mount your cameras? Q, 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 Q. How do you mount your cameras? How do you feed a hungry man with the manhandlers? Okay, never thought of that question. Are you using tripods? I'm using 1, 2, 3 tripods and what's called the sly bar. So you know that the heads of the the heads of the tripod, you know what the head is, right? You're 18 years old. You know what the head is? The very top, that tip, that's called the head, okay? So you could buy just the head, the ball joints and stuff like that. So Sly made me a bar. It's about, I would say, 30 inches long, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ball heads on it. So I can mount 5 cameras on that. Now, I only own 3 ball heads, okay? And I'll tell you the truth, I don't like the ball heads. And it's not because there's something wrong with them. As soon as you loosen them, boom, you lose your position. I mean, it goes everywhere. So I like the kind of head that you turn the handle and then you can go up or down. Because like now, I'd have to actually go change every single one. So when I take the camera off to go play, take pictures around the house and stuff, when I put it back on, inevitably it moves. So I have to go through and readjust every camera. Well, now all I have to do is I have this on a $11 tripod. But it works. Not going to say nothing. Okay, so this is the camera right here. This has, see what it says? Nikon G 2470 at 2.8. So that's a pro lens. Okay, and that was one of my main wedding lenses. So that is very cool. So I have the E10, the Sony E10 on the sly bar. I have another camera that I can't see. It might be the other E10 on the sly bar. I have this new one on a tripod because I needed it lower because I'm sitting down. So I want the lens, the center of the lens to be no more than 4 to 6 inches above my eyes. Okay. So it's the sly bar is too tall because it's basically for when I'm standing up. So if I were to stand up right now, I'd have to switch to the E10. So, so that's a good idea. So I use tripods. Yes, I do. I actually have a bar, Sammy, that I can put the bar on the tripod, and it's got another screw in the screw that you screw on it. So I could put 3 cameras on this bar, and it's about that long. But the cameras and the sizes these days, especially since I use the HDMI so they stick out, that bar is only good for 2 cameras. So I put one on the left and one on the right. Okay. I haven't used that in a long time, though, because Sly made me this metal bar. And it's strong. It's strong. There are some great ice cream stores in New Jersey next to the beach. Out by Coney Islands. Coney Island's got some... oh, that's not in Jersey, though, is it? That's in New York. Just checked. It has 25 megapixels. So my E10's got 25 megapixels? Good. Thank you. Hey, Jim. Don't you have anything better to do than to hang out with me on July 4th Eve, Independence Day Eve? IDE. Independence Day Eve. IDE. So Jim says, hi, everybody. Happy Independence Day Eve, Peter and gang. So I said I didn't know if I was going to be here on July 4th. I still don't, because I don't know if we're going out tomorrow or not. If we go out, it's very hard to sit in this chair if my body's not in the room. Okay. So how you doing, Jim? I'm hoping you're home or in Florida. Okay. One of the two. And you're not on the road for the holiday, but you could be, because I don't know of anyone more dedicated than Jim Mundy. That man, anybody that has him working for them, they're in good. They're in good. So Funny says, good evening. How you doing, Funnel Fest? Good to see you. I am happy to see you. Funny Fest. There's a movie, Funny Face. There is a movie called Funny Face. Boy, took me a minute to get that together. Solomon 321. Man, the S5 Mark II video is awesome. It looks pretty good, don't it? And I'm going to be making videos with this camera because I've been slacking off for this last week. I've been making videos. I will be making videos with this camera for the big channel. So you're going to get to see the lens that I'm using. You're going to get to see the adapter, which is this adapter. Each of these things will allow me to make a new video. Now, when you have a YouTube channel, you're looking to make videos, right, Solomon? So I'm looking to make videos. So I used to get equipment from B&H, but they booted me because not enough people will go to their website from here. And they do keep track of that stuff. So that's why I will tell people, use my links, even if you just want to shop around. Just click on a link to B&H. Doesn't matter what it is. And then go look it for what you want. That gives me credit that I sent somebody to them. And then if you actually buy something, of course, they do give me a commission. The commish. Anybody remember that show? So, yep, the S5, the S52, as I like to say it, it's the Christmas room bomber, the S52. So you're looking at it right now. So what lens do I have on it? You can always tell what lens on any camera, right there. So it gives you the camera name, that's the tag. And it gives you the lens, and not only gives you the lens, it also tells you what f-stop I'm using. So if I was using 1.8, it would say the 50L at 1.8. Okay. And it's on the Sigma adapter. So Solomon, where are you, Solomon? There he is. I found him. So you get a star. There you go. So now I know where I left off. Jeff says, yes, I shoot RAW. I've never done a DNG. Yep, they are a winner. Okay, so I'll save you a lot of time. You got to get the DNG converter free of charge from Adobe. Okay, you download it, you put it in your computer. You aim it at a folder, not a file. And it converts everything in that folder to DNG. Now, when you open the DNG window, you wanted to put it, you either can put it in the same folder, or you can have prepared a new folder called DNG, which is what I did and still do. And then you aim it to that folder. So it'll convert all of the RAW files to a DNG in a DNG folder. Okay. So then it's up to you now or later, once you're working and work with the DNG files. Okay. To delete the RAW files at a time in the future once you get your feet wet and you are happy with working with the DNG. Once you've decided you're happy with working with the DNG, the RAW files are just taking up space. because the DNG is a raw file. It is not a baked file. It's not baked into it. None of the settings are baked. So it is Adobe's version of a raw file, like PSD is Adobe's version of a raw file. But they cooked that one up to actually use for Photoshop. But so many people use it. Okay, so DNG, there's some cameras like Fuji, they don't shoot in RAW, they shoot in DNG right in the camera. Okay, so now the choice that I made is to use the lossy. Yeah, right? You would think you would want the DNG lossless, but I'm looking to compile space. So I tried the setting that I use in the DNG converter. So either write it down, the time marker here, or write it down so you won't have to go hunting it down. So you want to go into the settings or the options, and you want to choose the lossy version, but keep pixel count. So what that does is it makes a mirror image of your RAW file, but now it's in the DNG version. So a JPEG is quality 1 to 10, 10 being the best. I usually will be 6, 7, or 8. If I wanted to really spend a lot of space, I would put it at 9 or 10, right? So it would be like a JPEG file, but without anything baked in it, at the same level as maybe a 20 or a 30 of a JPEG. So it is a remarkably hefty file, and I use them heavily. If this camera or any camera I had the option of shooting directly to DNG, that's where I am, okay? Automatically. So, wait, I'm going up. So Solomon said the video on the S. Thank you for the compliment. And I do mean that. And the reason I say that is because the camera's only a week or two old, right, guys? And I've been spending a lot of time tuning the camera in. So I wanted to actually, get better and better. So I'll make one little change here, one little change there. So I did drop down the saturation, and I think I might put it back. But it's not a big difference, so you don't have to get worried about it or anything. So Jeff said I shoot RAW. I've never done a DNG. Well, that will liberate you. So at the moment, I've gone through half of my 5 terabytes of space, so I will need to look into DNG. So what DNG does, it gives you a raw file that's 2/3 smaller. That's the simplest summary I can give you. Can you change the color temperature? Yes. Is the sharpness baked in? No. Nothing is baked in. As a matter of fact, you can have it embed a JPEG or the raw file into a DNG file, which you don't want to do because you want to dump the raw file, okay? So the DNG file completely replaces the raw file. Now, you've been in the camera business long enough, all right? So you know there's people out there that are anal, meaning unless it's, raw, it doesn't count. Well, I'm almost like that, except with DNG, it is raw, but I'm not doing it lossless. Like TIFF is a lossless. You understand that? So DNG, you could choose lossless or lossy. Lossy means it's compressing it. So the very next question that has to go through anybody that's a professional in their mind is, what am I losing by choosing the lossy? If I'm basically making no headway, why bother? So that's when I compared quite a few very critical files, and I found that the lossy preserved pixel count. Got to remember those terms. Preserve pixel count. Preserve pixel count. Preserve pixel count. Preserve pixel count. Okay? So that means if it's a 32 megapixel file that came out of your camera, the DNG file will be a 32 megapixel DNG file. The only difference is it's gotten compressed. But the compression is like double or triple or quadruple the quality of a JPEG, and it maintains the structure of a RAW file. It's a win-win-win. It's so much of a win that some cameras will shoot as in a DNG file. A lot of the medium format cameras shoot in DNG, and the reason is the RAW files would be so huge you get 3 files on a SD card. Okay, so they shoot directly to DNG. So I'm doing a sales job on you, okay, but I'm trying to not leave out an important aspect. That's what I'm trying to do here, okay. So let's see. So at the moment, I've gone through half of my 5 terabytes. So I will need to look into DNG. So do I save the backup file as a DNG? Does the DNG hold all the metadata? Yes. I will look into DNG later. So any question that you have on DNG, the answer is it's identical to the RAW. It's like if you could compress RAW, which you cannot. Some cameras will allow you to compress RAW, okay, but far and few between. The purpose of RAW is that it's directly off the sensor. It's the sensor dump. So when you have a DNG file, it's a sensor dump. It's just a compressed RAW file, okay? So you lose nothing. So any question you have about the DNG file it's a positive answer. Do I get to keep all the metadata? Do I get to keep this? Everything is intact. You lose nothing. So why isn't a lot of people using it? They are, okay? It's just not cool, like wearing a fur coat. A fur coat is looked at, you might own a fur coat, it might cost you $50,000, but there's people that'll spray paint you because it's got a bad connotation to it. You had to kill animals to make that coat, okay? And that's not cool, all right? So with a DNG file, you don't have to kill anything, all right? But it's cool. So the fake fur coat, all right? So DNG file, it's got my mark of approval, and you don't have to go by my mark of approval because the medium format cameras and Fuji cameras shoot DNG, okay, as their RAW file, and it's not a RAW file, it's a DNG file. So they're giving you their mark of approval. Do you remember Hirsch Photo in New York? I bought my first Canon F1 from there in the late 70s. Yeah, Hirsch Photo. And, oh my God, who is it? Cambridge Photo in Boston. I bought my first Konica. Remember I said I got an adapter so I could put Konica Hexanon lenses on here? That was bought at Cambridge Photo. I cut grass a whole summer to save up enough money to buy my first 35 millimeter camera, and Dad let me use his lenses. My camera did come with a 1.8, but I wanted to use Dad's 1.4. Boys and their toys. It's inevitable, okay? And the boys never grow up. We still want our toys. So Jim says, yep, all these guys, the world changed, Jim. The world changed. I can't wait for the rapture because I'm not so happy with this world unless I'm far from a big city, okay? Because it's the big cities, the people are so mean. And years ago, it was kind of like the what was that? The Waltons, okay, and those kind of shows. The world was like that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. And this thing, you go down the street in New York and they knock you out with a punch to the back of the head. What the hell? Come on. This is the world needs to stop. Okay. And there's only one way for it to stop, and you know how it is. You know exactly how it is. But 7 years before that, we have something called the rapture. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to make a video. I'm going to start a new channel. It'll be my Christian channel, where I can say whatever I want, and it'll be all about Christian stuff. So, do you remember Hirsch Photo? Oh, Sly came in. She had her computer on. Oh, hi everybody. Is there such a thing as a happy Monday? If so, Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. Happy Jim Monday to everybody. Happy Monday to you. And just in case it's anybody's birthday this week, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, birthday boy or girl. Happy birthday to you. How old are you now? How old are you now? How old are you, birthday boy, birthday girl? How old are you now? I just had to sing. It was just bubbling up. So Sly started it. Hey, everybody, happy Monday. Monday, Monday, da-da. Everybody, you do the da-da, da-da-dum. Happy Monday, ba-da, ba-da-dum. Monday, Monday, ba-da, da-da-dum. Every other Monday, come, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Who was that? The Mamas and the Papas. Good for you. You guys, I know, you thunk it into my brain. So my wife, Jeff says, my wife did both wedding and family photo shoots. Not now. She stopped last year. She found the ball head in the studio better for a photo when it comes to video and panning the tripod head with the handle. The problem that happens is no problem with the ball head. Okay, as a matter of fact, if I had my hands on the camera, I would prefer the ball head. I loosen it, I move the camera and tighten it. The problem is this camera is positioned just right. So if I want to raise it or lower it just a little bit, I untighten the ball head. I'm no longer balanced. I'm no longer up or down. I'm no longer left or right. So it just screws my whole setup. So the one that I have here, you just loosen this handle, and then you go up or down, which means I don't lose my level, and I don't lose the skew. I just go up or down, and that's why I like that in the Christmas room. Now, if I was doing a photo shoot, and there's a family, yeah, I would want to be able to basically move the camera freely, and when I get it just right, tighten it down. Okay, so I got what you're saying. So it's only unique to the Christmas room. If I was in the kitchen, ball head is fine. No problem. Okay. So Jeff is talking to Sly. Sly, how are you doing today, Sly? And Scotty says, I think D&G stands for digital negative. Yes, it's the digital negative group. And that's what D&G stands for. The digital negative group. It's an open structure, meaning even though they hold the patents to it, they do not enforce the patents. Anybody can use it freely, okay? You don't even have to give Adobe credits. They tried to establish a compressed format for RAW files, but the camera companies were too proud to adopt it. Our loss, because it's actually better than a RAW file. Jeff says, thank you, Peter. I will look into converting to DNG. Well, the cool part of that is you get to keep it as a dang-dong RAW file. Because once you convert it, you lose, everything's baked in if you convert it to a JPEG. So, and I don't know of any converter that will take a RAW file and compress it. And if they did, I would be highly suspicious until I did tests. So Sammy says that's a very nice story. Thank you, Sam. Sam, I am. I love you, Sammy. Did you know that? I love you, Jeff. I love you, Sly. Who else is in here? Kyle, love you, Kyle. Solomon, love you, Solomon. Funny Fest, Jim Monday. We don't have a lot of people. Carlos, love you, Carlos. How come I can't say that name? It's Ayantu. I think you put the emphasis on the front. So it's Ayantu Asila. Ayantu Asila. Pam para pam para para ram. I think I said I love to everybody. Well, I love everybody. I love everybody. So there we go. So what did I do today with the S5 Mark II? I walked around this house. Oh, darn. I wanted to show you a video. I made a video, a practice video. So this is not for prime time, not even close. Okay. And it's on a 24p timeline. So I don't think I could show it to you here because I'm on a 30p timeline. So what I can do is try to remember tomorrow to set this camera up for 24p and only use this camera because I'm not setting all these cameras from 30p to 24p. Okay. So let me see what time it is. Okay. It's 11. I've been on an hour and 43 minutes. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. That ends our show. We are at the end. Okay, so thank you for being here. I love everybody. I'm not sure if I'll be here at the house tomorrow to do a show or not. Okay, if I am, you bet your bippy I'll come in and we'll do a show. Okay, and if I'm not, you won't see me tomorrow. So we're going to log out and say good night for the night. So good night, everybody. But I'm coming back. I'm coming back in 24p because I want to show you the test video that I made. It's for play, so it's not broadcast, you know. You just take it for what it is. So I'm going to say good night. Thank you for being here. I love you. I'll be back in 5 minutes or so at 24p instead of 30p. Bye. Use my links. Use the links. You can't hear me? Use the links.